BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
It's a beautiful day to operate on these Grey's Anatomy secrets. The halls of Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital have once again delivered a shocking twist, leaving viewers stunned as a surprise pregnancy emerged in the wake of a beloved character's death. For 2 decades, the heart-wrenching ABC medical drama, Grey's Anatomy, has captivated audiences with its dramatic surgeries, intense personal lives, and an ever-evolving roster of dedicated physicians. Now entering its 22nd season, the show's enduring appeal shows no signs of waning. Despite a revolving door of talent and a consistently high casualty count among its medical staff. Since its premiere in 2005, Seattle Grace, and later Grey Sloan, has remained a beacon for bright, ambitious medical minds, undeterred by the lingering specter of loss that has defined the hospital's storied history. The landscape of Grey's Anatomy has transformed significantly over the years. Today, only Ellen Pompeo as Meredith Grey, Chandra Wilson as Miranda Bailey, and James Pickens Jr. as Richard Webber remain from the original Season 1 cast. Meredith Grey's physical presence, though no longer a weekly constant since 2022, has been a cornerstone of the series. Pompeo, who also serves as an executive producer, shared her perspective with El País in April, stating, "I've been doing it for 20 years. So it was time to step away. I'm very lucky to be able to get to work sometimes and take time off." However, few characters have endured the sheer volume of professional and personal trials as Meredith Grey. Her journey, from an ambitious surgical intern to a chief of surgery, Alzheimer's disease researcher, and widowed mother of 3, has been marked by every conceivable setback. Yet, through it all, her capacity for love and belief in finding happiness has persisted, resonating deeply with viewers. The current ensemble, including seasoned surgeons like Drs. Bailey, Webber, Owen Hunt, and Teddy Altman, continues to navigate the relentless demands of trauma surgery. Their unwavering commitment, day after day, underscores the show's central theme of resilience. For these dedicated professionals, the act of saving lives transforms even the most catastrophic events. From devastating car and plane crashes to ferocious floods, sinkholes, and violent shootings, into challenges to be overcome. As Chandra Wilson shared on Good Morning America ahead of the October 9th season premiere, the showrunners intentionally weave in moments that echo memorable past storylines. Showrunner Meg Marini's emphasized a guiding principle for the current season. "We're about dropping in kernels of hope, wherever we can put it, 'cause we need that as much as possible. Little kernels of hope, through all the crazy stuff that we do. But there's still something in there to say, we're doing it, we can go on, we're okay." This dedication to injecting hope amidst the chaos is a testament to the show's enduring formula, a delicate balance that has fueled its remarkable longevity and distinction in the television landscape since its inception. Even recalling Meredith's early, unexpected fling with a neurosurgeon who happened to be her boss. The secrets behind Grey's Anatomy's sustained success and its ability to continually captivate audiences for over 2 decades are as intricate as a complex surgical procedure. Central to its creation was the vision for Meredith Grey, a role Shonda Rhimes sought to fill with a specific kind of ambition and charm. Rhimes envisioned a girl like the girl from Moonlight Mile for the part of the endearing surgical intern. As Rhimes recalled to Entertainment Weekly, the casting breakthrough came when somebody said, "I think that girl is Ellen Pompeo." Pompeo, who had recently starred opposite Jake Gyllenhaal in the 2002 film, already had a working relationship with ABC. Intriguingly, Pompeo herself admitted to finding the medical genre anxiety-inducing, a stark contrast to Rhimes' confessed addiction to scripted surgeries. In a 2013 interview with Parade, Pompeo stated, "I don't particularly like medical shows at all. I never have. The show that was really big at the time for my generation, before I started Grey's, was that was on forever. But I've never seen one episode." Her initial apprehension about being tied to a medical show for an extended period, as she told The Hollywood Reporter, was palpable. However, upon meeting Rhimes, her perspective shifted dramatically, leading her to declare, "It was like, I want to do the show." The casting of Derek Shepherd, the iconic McDreamy, almost took a very different turn. before Patrick Dempsey stepped into the role of the dreamy brain surgeon. ABC had Rob Lowe in consideration, according to Grey's executive producer Peter Horton, as detailed in Lynette Rya's 2021 book How to Save a Life. The inside story of Grey's Anatomy. Lowe was presented with a choice between their show and CBS's Dr. Vegas. Lowe ultimately opted for Dr. Vegas. He later quipped about his decision-making process, saying, "My picker was awesome." The West Wing alum explained that he simply had a better meeting with CBS and was drawn more to the vibe over the script. However, the undeniable chemistry between Ellen Pompeo and Patrick Dempsey proved to be a pivotal factor. Pompeo, as quoted in Rya's book, recalled reading with 5 potential actors for the role of McDreamy and finding it quite obvious right off the bat that Patrick and I had the best chemistry. The journey to the show's now iconic title, Grey's Anatomy, was not without its detours and considerable debate. For a period, the series was briefly known as Complications, a title that ABC Entertainment president Steve McPherson hated, according to producer Harry Worksman, who spoke with Rice. ABC had even secured the rights to Dr. Atul Gawande's book, Complications, A Surgeon's Notes on an Imperfect Science. As a potential backup, Kate Burton, who portrayed Meredith's mother, Dr. Ellis Gray, recalled the working title being Surgeon's Asterisk when she was first given the script. Writer Eric Buckman even remembered a pitch for Misdiagnosis, a title that Rhimes just outright hated. Chandra Wilson's initial impression was of entering an untitled Shonda Rhimes project that she believed was never going to go anywhere. Ultimately, the origin of the decision to revert to Grey's Anatomy remains somewhat elusive, with Buckman stating he couldn't recall who made the call to go back to Grey's Anatomy. Further adding to the show's tumultuous early production, the first episodes delivered to network executives were met with a strong, even foul-mouthed, reaction from Steve McPherson. He humorously acknowledges this reception now, telling Rice, "But we had some serious work to do." He lauded Rhimes' responsiveness, noting, "To Rhimes' credit, she heard it, did the work, made the changes and off it went." This period of intense revision and creative redirection was crucial in shaping the series that would eventually gain widespread acclaim. The music that has become synonymous with Grey's Anatomy, often bringing to mind hits like How to Save a Life by the Fray or Snow Patrol's Chasing Cars, nearly overlooked its original title theme. For the first 2 seasons, the instrumental piece Cozy in the Rocket by Sap served as the show's opening theme, and it continues to play instrumentally over the closing credits. Galia Durant, the singer for Sap, revealed to The Guardian in 2007 that the band weren't even going to release it because we weren't that into it. However, their manager played the song for the Grey's Anatomy music supervisor a few months later, who immediately expressed interest. The band's response was, "Have it, we're not going to put it out." Bandmate Karam Klasman reflected in 2024 to Shondaland that at the time, they had no inkling of what it meant to have Grey's use their song, because in our little bubble making music, we didn't quite appreciate what was going on all around. The iconic Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital itself has a tangible, real-world connection. The pilot episode was filmed at an abandoned veterans hospital in Northridge, California. Former showrunner Stacey McKee recalled to Rice that the writers' offices were literally hospital rooms. The windows were nailed shut because apparently it had been a psych ward or something. While the show continues to be primarily filmed in Los Angeles, the exterior shots of the fictional Seattle Grace Hospital are actually of Seattle's Como Plaza, inspired by the real Harborview Medical Center. The meticulous attention to detail extends to the actors' attire and appearance. Costume designer Mimi Melgard faced the challenge of ensuring that the wardrobe never overshadowed the performances. Everything had to be subdued, she explained to Rice, emphasizing that even during surgical scenes, the focus remained on the bottom of the scrub cap and their eyes. "I didn't want anything to distract from their eyes." Melgard also noted that standard scrubs are totally ill-fitting, necessitating alterations to achieve a look that was both natural and flattering within the show's reality. Makeup director Norman Levitt adhered to a principle of do no harm, a directive that sometimes conflicted with producer Peter Horton's desire for a rough and ready look to maintain realism, versus Rhimes' preference for a touch more glamour. The production of Grey's Anatomy was not immune to significant real-world controversies that threatened its very existence. Shonda Rhimes expressed deep concern that the show would not survive the fallout from the Isaiah Washington scandal. In 2007, Washington was fired following an incident where he allegedly used a homophobic slur during an argument with T.R. Knight. Rhimes told The Hollywood Reporter in March 2025, "I think the thorn was having the bubble of joy burst so early on Grey's. And not having anybody interested in helping us deal with it. Because that really shaped a lot of how we looked at the world going forward." She added that, "Every Grey's actor I talked to who was there during that time is still traumatized by that incident. People still talk about it." Washington initially attempted to explain his actions. But after repeating the slur backstage at the 2007 Golden Globes, he issued another statement, acknowledging that "a mere apology will not end this. And I intend to let my future actions prove my sincerity." Despite this, the narrative's drive for authenticity ultimately trumped lingering animosity. Isaiah Washington's Dr. Preston Burke later returned to the show in 2014. A reappearance credited by Sandra Oh to her insistence ahead of Dr. Christina Yang's departure. Washington himself acknowledged this on X in April, stating, "She refused to leave the show without my return and she won that battle." Another significant storyline disruption involved Katherine Heigl's character, Dr. Izzy Stevens. Rhimes had initially envisioned an off-camera death for Izzy, who had survived a brain tumor and subsequently disappeared from the series in the middle of season 6 following Heigl's departure from her contract. However, Rhimes reconsidered this fate, deeming it an unfair blow to Alex Karev, played by Justin Chambers. When Chambers himself left the show 10 seasons later, Alex and Izzy were given a happy ending as reunited parents to their twins. Showrunner Krista Vernoff told TV Line in 2020 that the decision was straightforward. At the end of the day, there were 3 choices: kill Alex off camera, have Alex be alive and in Seattle, and still married to Joe, Camilla Luddington, and we just never see him. Or, he's with Izzy. Vernoff confirmed that this wasn't even a debate in the writer's room, and that giving Alex a life with Izzy and a fresh start for Joe was so clearly the right course. Katherine Heigl's tenure on the show was also marked by significant backlash, contributing to her being labeled as difficult. After winning the Best Supporting Actress Emmy in 2007, she faced criticism for calling the film "knocked up" a little sexist in a separate instance. She revealed in 2008 that she had not submitted herself for Emmy consideration, stating she didn't feel Izzy's storyline warranted it. Heigl later shared with Howard Stern in 2016 that she had apologized to Rhimes for her Emmys comment. But the public reaction to her speaking her mind left her feeling completely like the biggest piece of ST on the bottom of your shoe. She described struggling to cope and avoid taking the criticism personally. Therapy proved beneficial, as Heigl explained her desire to not compromise who I am and what I have to say so much that I go to bed going, "I've just become a robot. Now I just do what they tell me to and say what they want me to say." Heigl also drew attention in 2009 when, during an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman, she described the show's routine, 17-hour day, as cruel and mean. Reflecting on this statement in an April 2022 episode of her podcast, Tell Me with Ellen Pompeo, Pompeo suggested that had Heigl made such a comment today, she would be a complete hero. Pompeo elaborated, "But she was ahead of her time. She made a statement about our crazy hours and, of course, let's slam a woman and call her ungrateful. When the truth is, she's 100% honest and it's absolutely correct what she said. And she was King ballsy for saying it." The dramatic departure of Derek Shepherd, or McDreamy, was a storyline that deeply affected fans. Rhimes cryptically admitted on The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore in 2015 that she had killed off a character in the Shondaland universe because she disliked the actor involved, fueling speculation that it was Dempsey's character. Derek, who had chosen to be with Meredith, was tragically killed off at the end of season 11. When asked for his perspective, Dempsey told You that Rhimes loves being provocative and that's fine for who she is. He described her as an amazing woman who's incredibly productive, and someone who knows how to deal with the media and what she needs to say to get the response that she's looking for. According to How to Save a Life, tensions were indeed high between Dempsey, Rhimes, and other cast members. Former executive producer James D. Harriet stated that some cast members had all sorts of PTSD with him. By that point, Harriet noted, Dempsey was just done with the show. Former executive producer Janine Renshaw, as recounted in Raya's book, mentioned that Pompeo would get angry that he wasn't working as much and was very big on having things be fair. Any lingering issues were apparently resolved enough for Dempsey to make a brief return in season 17, appearing in a comatose Meredith's dream. Despite Ellen Pompeo scaling back her full-time presence in 2022, she, alongside series regulars Chandra Wilson and James Pickens Jr., portraying Drs. Miranda Bailey and Richard Webber respectively, remain the only actors who have been with the show since its inception, now spanning 22 seasons and counting. Pompeo explained her continued involvement to El País in April 2025, stating that it would make no sense, emotionally or financially, for her to leave. She highlighted the show's immense streaming popularity, noting it was streamed over 1 billion times in 2024. The companies that own the show and stream the show make a lot of money from our images and our voices and our faces. If I were to walk away completely, everybody gets to make money from my hard work for 20 years and I wouldn't make any money. And emotionally, the show means a lot to people. I want to have an attitude of gratitude toward the show. Ellen Pompeo's substantial paycheck reflects a significant evolution in her compensation and standing within the industry. In 2017, she secured a deal reportedly worth over $20 million annually, including $575,000 per episode, a multi-million-dollar signing bonus, and 2 back-end equity points valued at over $6 million. According to The Hollywood Reporter, she also assumed a producer role, establishing her own production company, Calamity Jane, with an office on the Disney lot. Pompeo recalled a pivotal moment in her career when she was denied a request for $5,000 more per episode than Patrick Dempsey was being paid, a request made just on principle. She explained in 2018 that Dempsey's eventual departure from the show was a defining moment, deal-wise. Without his presence, his popular character's value could no longer be leveraged against hers. Inspired by Rhimes' own substantial deals, Pompeo aimed higher, advocating for what she felt she deserved. In a 2018 interview with THR, she articulated her perspective. When your face and your voice have been part of something that's generated $3 billion for one of the biggest corporations in the world, you start to feel like, okay, maybe I do deserve a piece of this. Chandra Wilson, who plays the formidable Dr. Miranda Bailey, harbored initial doubts about her long-term future on the show. Her pregnancy during the first season led her to believe her tenure would be short-lived. She shared on Good Morning America in October 2025, ahead of the season 22 premiere, "My first instinct was to get in touch with Shonda and say, thank you so much for allowing me to play Dr. Bailey for the first season. And I understand that I'll have to step away now." Wilson recalled Rhimes' immediate reassurance. "I don't know what you're talking about. Don't be ridiculous." And that was news to my ears. The writers of Grey's Anatomy consistently draw inspiration from real-world medical challenges. Showrunner Meg Marinis explained to the Los Angeles Times in March 2025, "We always take the stance of, what are doctors going through these days?" She cited the COVID-19 season as an example, where the narrative was presented completely from a doctor's point of view. We didn't talk about politics. We didn't talk about who was right, who wasn't right. We just showed the effect that the pandemic had on our doctors and the isolation and loneliness that they had to go through. We'll do the same thing if we see headlines we want to explore. This commitment to reflecting current medical realities ensures the show remains relevant and impactful. The question of whether the actors have acquired any practical medical skills from their extensive work on the show is often posed. While Ellen Pompeo admitted to becoming definitely more interested in medicine, she qualified that one cannot truly learn things from the acting experience. She emphasized the immense difficulty of the medical profession, noting, being a doctor is the hardest thing you can do. 12 years of school, the pharmaceutical knowledge, the body parts, the Latin terminology, the memory retention you have to have. Doctors are serious rock stars. So I wouldn't pretend to know even a tenth of what they know.